Breaking news just in. Currently, we are forgiving up to $10,000 of all loans for live viewers. All the loans that you have taken out from us, we are forgiving $10,000 of it. So congratulations, live viewers. Thank you for being here live. Your debt is forgiven. Start the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday night. That means it is time for the tagline. My name is Robert Adams.
I am Chris Adams.
We are the Cinefanatics. This is the tagline, the show where the tagline is the title, where we're going to talk about movie news and nothing else, pretty much. So when did we start issuing loans? I haven't seen any of this.
The less questions you ask, the better.
Oh, okay. Well, that works. Oh, good Lord, y'all. It's Wednesday night. It is 8:07 p.m. Central Time. Whatever that means, wherever you're located. That's what time it is. Do you know where
your kids are at?
The what?
Do you know where your kids are at?
Yeah, she's in the bathroom eating her food right now. By the way, my cat is my kid.
Yeah. Oh, you need to clarify that, because otherwise you're like, where's your child at? Oh, she's currently in the bathroom eating her food. She's also got 4 legs and fur and meows.
Instead of taking a shower or bath, she licks herself. This
is getting worse.
She's a cat. What I'm trying to say is a cat is my kid. Anyways, Garth is already in there before we even get started. Please continue to make your loan payments in a timely manner to avoid high interest fees. You can make those loan payments to streamlabs.com/cinefanatics. Any payments that you do give, they don't get returned or anything. I guess I don't know what a loan means. Anyways, if you would like to give us money without any thoughts of it coming back to you, streamlabs.com/cinefanatics. If you have any questions, comments, issues, the normal, that's where you can do it at. Also, don't forget patreon.com/cinefanatics. Hop on the tier that is good for you to help support us if you have the means. Whichever tier you would like to do, please hop on that. Coming up this Monday, we will be doing our movie trivia hangout. We're going to be doing things a little bit different this coming Monday. So if you are on, I believe it's the Maverick tier, you can join us this coming Monday at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern for that movie trivia hangout. I see in the chat Garth, I see Tyler, I see Jeremy, I see Nerd. Thank y'all for joining us tonight, y'all.
I see Timmy, I see Debbie, I see...
What are you doing?
You remember that? Garth might know the answer to this. Remember that old show or whatever that they're like, I see little Timmy, I see... It's like a kid's show or a family show or something. They always try to point out the audience members watching at home.
Oh, yeah. The only thing I knew of was Little House on the Prairie, where they're like, "Good night, Betty Sue."
No, that's a completely different thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Anyways, that's all the YouTube stuff pertaining to this live stream tonight. Guys, we're probably just a little bit off tonight, so please forgive me. Romper Room Magic Mirror. Is that what that is?
He's got it.
Oh, okay.
I knew I should get it. Who's off? Who's off tonight? What are you talking about?
I'm a little off center or something.
The hell
a little more
mean?
Than usual. That just kill your joke right there.
Nah, I said, the hell does that mean?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not all here right now, so I'm gonna push through anyway.
Get here.
Yeah, that's what we're supposed to do. Upcoming shows tonight. After this, I will be heading over to Fans View of Film Favorites as usual. We are going to be watching Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. And I know you may be asking, wait a minute, y'all did Goblet of Fire last week. What happened to Order of the Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince? Well, funny you should ask. I watched those from last week, and now I'm ready for Deathly Hallows tonight. Did you do that? I don't know. If you did, cool, you're up with us. If you didn't, we'll watch this right now, and then watch Deathly Hallows, and just forget those other 2 movies. That's how we're going to play this. So, Robert is pining for the fjords. The fjords. I can't say English words. Anyways, that's going to be over on the Fansview channel at 8:35 Pacific, 11:35 Eastern, as usual. Also, to plug, I'm pretty sure I got this in. Yes, this coming Friday, the 26th, we are changing up the dates. It is not on a Saturday. It's going to be on Fridays now. We are doing the marquee. Last week, we announced that the marquee for this month is going to be 80 summer blockbusters, and that is what we will be doing this Friday with our very special guest, returning cinefanatic, Miss Tori Rose. She will be joining us as we are tier ranking 80 summer blockbusters. If you are a part of our Patreon, you can go to our Discord, and under the marquee, you can actually see the full list of all the movies that we are tier ranking. So if there are any you haven't seen, you want to be prepared for it, it's over there on the Discord. So even if you're at the $1 tier on the Patreon, you can see that. That will be this Friday, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, that's everything coming up so far. How's everybody doing? I already see Jeremy's already got the frogs out for the Tory.
Tory wasn't around in the 80s. Tory was barely around in the 90s.
That's funny. Oh, simultaneous drinking. That's the way you run a YouTube show right there. Everyone drinking, dead silence.
Everybody along with us. Everybody, wet your whistle at the same time. 1, 2, 3, drink. All right.
Who's submitting the bits to drink water or whatever it is that you do on Twitch?
Submitting
I don't think it's bits, but whatever. The little crystal ball things.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Hey,
I'm a Twitch expert over here. Twitch expert.
So, think personal things going on.
Yeah, the show's got to keep going.
Jeremy, you invited someone from Gen Z to talk about 80s movies. Makes sense. Well, that makes it more fun, right? You got to have. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. That one was around for all these movies pretty much as soon as they came out, more or less. He was a youngster for the beginning, but I was around to catch them on their initial reruns in the 90s. Yes. Yeah. And Tori was around to consider them long-standing classics and movies that her parents watched and movies that she heard about and from a dream.
And then eventually watched, hopefully, maybe.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll find out. Hopefully she watched Friday. I'm just kidding. I know she did, but still.
Yeah. It's been a day already.
Somebody get this man some caffeine.
I already had some. I'm just waiting for it to kick in. So, anyways, how has everyone's week been?
I'm doing great myself. I've got my demo reel for my wedding videos pretty much almost done. It'll be done probably tomorrow.
Yay!
And then for anybody who wants to see it, I'll probably share it privately. It's not going to get shared publicly because I can't, but I can share it privately with people. So it's good stuff.
It's the bee's knees.
It's the knees of the bees.
What is it? It's the tits.
I don't know about it's not the bee's tits. It's definitely just the knees. Maybe the feet if you're into that kind of thing.
Antennae?
like the Quentin B routine. Oh, there's nothing there. There was nothing there. I don't even know why I tried that. There was nothing there.
Anyways, this is gonna be that kind of a night, y'all. I wouldn't say I really had anything like too personal going on. The usual depression and planning and fun creative ideas, and it's the usual. Anyways, let's get into some movie stuff. What did you watch over this past week?
I really just watched Beverly Hills Cop 2. if you want to know why specifically I watched Beverly Hills Cop 2, of all the movies that would be new to me that I could possibly watch, I watched Beverly Hills Cop 2, a movie that I probably otherwise would never have gotten around to seeing at any given point. It's because we're gonna rank it on the marquee this weekend.
That is this coming Friday at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern, with special guest Tori Rose. Come join us.
Technically a summer blockbuster, if you can believe it. It made a lot of money the year it came out in the summer. So it's a summer blockbuster, I guess. So I went ahead and watched it because I would need to know where I'm going to rank it. I actually did like it, though. And I'm saying that right now. I'm kind of spoiling the fact that I actually liked the movie. I thought it was pretty good. Pretty decent, typical 80s action comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm spoiling that I like it, though, because if you know the list of movies that we're going to be ranking, it doesn't mean it's going in S.
Yeah,
who knows where that's going?
Especially if you pull up the thumbnail again. You notice there's a particular bat symbol down there in the bottom. Kind of curious where you're going to put that one. Where is Batman going to rank this time?
Well, considering it's stacked up against a bunch of other classic blockbuster movies from the 80s that aren't Batman.
Yeah. I'm kind of interested in where this is going to go.
You're going to have to tune in Friday to find out that one.
Yeah. I haven't even sat down and thought out where I'm going to rank them all yet. So I will be doing that by Friday. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. So I did watch that prequel Orphan First Kill. I'm a big fan of the 2009 Orphan movie. I thought it was fantastic. Like the story, the twist. If you don't know the twist, it's a good one. It's up there with the list of movies that have really good twists to them. I thought Orphan First Kill actually wasn't bad. It takes place before the original Orphan, and it's still Isabel Furman playing Esther. So she's older by 13 years, playing a character that's supposed to be 2 years younger. So this will be it's interesting. And they didn't use any CGI to de-age her. It's all forced perspective, and most of the other cast were all on platform heels, so they seemed taller than she was. Far off distances, they had kids in costume from far away, so it did look like it was a little kid. It really interesting, and even knowing that it's not CGI, I don't think it really took me out of the movie too much. But yeah, it was pretty decent. You would think 13 years later, a one-trick pony type of movie like Orphan just really wouldn't lend itself to a prequel very well. I thought it did pretty well. I thought it did pretty decent. So I do recommend that if you're a fan of the original movie. Also, first time watch was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. For years,
that's the thing to admit.
Yeah, for years I had only seen Raiders of the Lost Ark and Temple of Doom and had never watched Last Crusade. But because of the marquee, I finally got around to watching The Last Crusade, and I now finally understand every single one of those "you chose wisely, you chose poorly" memes that I've seen over the past 15 years or so. They all came flooding and rushing back to me going, now that's where that came from. Okay. I also understood where the no ticket joke from Dogma came from.
Drink. It's a big drink. You can stop drinking. I got
tea and water.
Shut up. You have chosen wisely.
I'm hydrated. Yeah. Jeremy says he watched Booksmart. Here's the thing, I have you seen Booksmart? I can't remember if you watched it. Or you started watching it and just couldn't get into it or something at that time.
Yep. Okay, fine. I'll go ahead and admit that on live internet. Yeah. I never finished Booksmart, y'all.
Okay. Which is fine. That I feel like that's okay. This isn't like RRR that you only watched for 15 minutes. I can understand depending on what was going on, like maybe just something else came up and you had to just let it go. Yeah, Booksmart was okay. I didn't think it was like great, but also at the same time, I don't feel like I'm quite the demographic for Booksmart. So kind of like Lady Bird. I didn't think I was the demographic for Lady Bird either. So but I am very interested in Don't Worry, Darling, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But yeah. I'm super interested in seeing that. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into movie news because we got a lot of it tonight, y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen,
good evening. This is what's happening in your world tonight.
We apologize for the interruption.
Back to you.
Let's chat box office numbers right off the top here, y'all, because we got some numbers to keep track of here. This is actually fascinating. So last week, Bullet Train was number 1, and it had been number 1, I guess, for the prior 2 weeks or so. This week, Bullet Train's actually dropped down to number 3. It's not number 1 this week. So you would be asking yourself,
well, what's number 1?
What's number 1 and what's number 2? That's kind of crazy. Well, I'll tell you. Number 1 is a little movie called Dragon Ball Super Superhero. And if you want to know something real quick, the money level of that movie is over 21 million. That's how much money it made in its opening weekend. So,
what is a Dragon Ball?
If I have to explain it to you, then you know. Okay, so genitalia.
Okay, we can skip this explanation. I don't like where this is going.
Gotcha.
So real quick, I just thought of this. This is an animated cartoon movie? Obviously, yes. It's not a live action. So
yes,
you mean to tell me an animated Dragon Ball movie is opening number 1 when a live action Dragon Ball movie, I don't even think broke the top 10 when it came out.
You know, I don't think so either.
That's great.
So it goes to show you that sometimes the original source material is a lot more of an interest to people than blah, 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 blah.
Okay. Do you know if the Goku in this movie actually was an Asian person, though?
I have no idea. I know literally nothing about Dragon Ball other than what I've seen in Fortnite during its current run as a collaboration in that game. Outside of that, I know absolutely nothing about what nationality any of the characters are supposed to be.
Okay, so I just looked it up, and to answer my question, yes, Goku was played by an Asian person. Looks like it's someone named Emma Stone. So yeah, Asian person. Cool. Moving on.
Right. Oh, that's correct. And Vegeta was played by Scarlett Johansson. Got it.
Yeah.
Number 2 in the box office this week is the Idris Elba movie called Beast, which
I haven't seen anything about this movie.
I feel like we've seen a trailer. We've seen a trailer for it. He's like fighting a lion or something like that.
Did we see this in the theater? Because I haven't purposely watched a trailer online for it, so I don't know.
I think we've seen a trailer for it in the theater. It's Universal Pictures, so I'm imagining that it's supposed to be coming out on Peacock too. I don't know if this isn't necessarily like a day and date, I think, but I believe it's supposed to be available. I could be mistaken completely too, but I feel like it's supposed to be available on streaming here pretty soon as well. So we'll see. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It feels like a movie that would have premiered on streaming myself. But then again, what does that even mean? Because we're at the point where, you know, big popular movies are coming into the theater as well as streaming at the same time. We'll talk about that later as well.
I do want to see, was it that 3,000 Years of Longing? That comes out this week, doesn't it? Like
I believe that's this weekend. Yeah. Yep.
I don't know when I'm going to get time to go see that.
Watch House of Dragon Ball on HBO Max.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh.
So and I would say real quick on that subject, don't expect like any Game of Thrones talk from this channel. We're just not Game of Thrones fans here. I don't know jack about it. I know some of the actors in it. I know a bit part of the Red Wedding just because I saw that scene, but that's it. That's all I know. So
got it. Nailed it. So the number 2 movie Beast opened to about 11.5 million. So that's kind of where the box office is this weekend. You know, the number 1 movie opening to 21 million being Dragon Ball Superhero, and then Beast with 11.5. It's kind of interesting that those two movies are the tops of the box office with kind of what would otherwise for most general summer box offices be kind of a low take for a movie opening. And of course you got Bullet Train, which made another 8 million, and that's at the number 3 spot. Funny enough, talking about big blockbuster movies, Top Gun Maverick dropped back down to number 4. So in its 13th week, last week it was at number 2. It dropped back down to number 4. So that thing is going to hang out in that box office for a little bit longer, even though I believe it's now released digitally, right?
Yeah. So we were talking about this. You and I were talking about this last night. It actually is available digitally today.
Oh, there you go.
So you can watch it after you're done watching the Tagline, and then after you're done watching us over on a Fans View doing Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
And before you watch the back of your eyelids and sleep tonight.
Yeah.
So are we saying when we say it's available digitally, are we saying it's also available on Paramount Plus right now too?
I don't know the details of that yet. I just found out earlier. I just looked it up and saw that it was
Gotcha.
streaming digitally today.
Gotcha. Number 5 spot, we got DC League of Super Pets. Number 6 spot, we got Thor Love and Thunder, which that one is going to be hitting Disney Plus, I believe, on Disney Plus Day, which I think is September 8th, something like that.
Is it 8th, I believe? There's so much. Like Pinocchio is releasing on that day too. I'm like,
yeah. And that's something crazy too, because we only got like one trailer before like today or yesterday for Pinocchio, and then they just released the new trailer, and I've heard there's been like zero marketing on this movie up until this point, pretty much. And the movie's coming out in like a week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever the math is on days there. That's kind of fascinating to me. They're only kind of really hitting the ground running on marketing like 2 weeks out from the movie being released. I think it's kind of like one of those situations where they're not too worried about it being a major draw on its initial release, rather than just, hey, Pinocchio is going to be on there. You're going to get to be able to watch it whenever you want.
Yeah.
Which, here's the thing. It doesn't look awful. It doesn't look bad, but I'm going in with trepidation still, because I said the Lion King movie also didn't look awful. I thought the Lion King movie looked pretty good, and oh boy. So I don't know. We'll see. I love Tom Hanks as Geppetto. I think Pinocchio looks great as like translated directly from animated to live action, even though some people think he's got some dead eyes. I understand, but he looks almost exactly like the animated version of him.
Cleo and Figaro looked a little weird.
Kind of.
There was only like a couple like quick shots, and yeah. So this is kind of what I want to talk about. Obviously, we haven't done a trailer reaction for it. I kind of wish we did, or at least at the very least, I wish I did one, just because I grew up watching. Pinocchio was like Mary Poppins was one of those movies I watched like every weekend, like multiple times every weekend on the same VHS tape that we had like recorded. And get out of here, sex bots. Not a time. I'm talking about a kids movie. Go away. Anyways, so I watched that over and over and over again. So I loved Pinocchio as a kid. One of my favorite like Disney animated movies. So I am super eager for this movie. So far, everything I've seen from it looks pretty good. Just, I don't know. There's a couple of things that I'm a little leery on. One of the main ones being that we haven't seen anything in the trailers really from the part where they go to Pleasure Island, where they all the little kids turn in, spoiler alert, little kids turn into donkeys, which I didn't mind that as a kid, but I remember hearing like tons of like kids saying that they were just freaked out by those scenes. So that I'm a little leery about, just because I'm kind of curious as to how that's actually going to look. The other thing I'm scared about, not necessarily from the movie, but from the general public, especially nowadays. First of all, can I rant for like 2 seconds? I promise I'll keep it short.
Keeping in mind that we're still doing the box office. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. The stupid incel shit about She-Hulk right now is pissing me off. Like, this has to end. Just
Not
oh my
surprised.
god.
Not surprised.
So
though.
I am worried about that in regards to the did you say spoiler alert for Pinocchio? Yes, I did. Movie that came out in 1941, I believe. Yes. I'm a little worried about what people are saying in regards to Cynthia Erivo as the Blue Fairy. And I'm already when I saw the trailer that popped up today, I looked in the comments and everyone's like, why is the Blue Fairy all jacked up? They're messing up the Blue Fairy. Which I don't know if they're necessarily commenting. They're not elaborating on this, whether they're commenting on her being portrayed by a black woman, or it's just the way that she looks. Like, she doesn't have like long flowing hair. She is bald. I think they gave her like pointy ears or something when they took some liberties with how her character looks, which that's fine. If you want to like, why is she bald? Why has she got pointy ears? I get
Not
that.
big deal.
Huh?
It's not really not that big a deal.
It really isn't, because she's not that major of a character anyway. She's only in the original movie, she's only in like one scene. You hear her voice later on, but you only see her like once. So
I imagine she'll be in this movie a little bit more than that, just because
Yeah.
Cynthia Erivo is kind of
a little more
getting some
popular.
star power.
Yeah. So I'm a little worried about that we're just going to get a bunch of people complaining about her. But that's the only thing I'm really worried about with this movie. Otherwise, everything looks good. Was it John Worthington Foulfellow, the fox, looks fantastic. The fox and the cat. I'm forgetting the cat's name. It's been a long time since I've watched the cartoon, actually.
Yeah. Been quite a while.
If anyone should be upset about the Blue Fairy, it should be Christian Harloff. Good one.
That's a reference.
That's a good one, Garth, right there.
That's a reference right there. He's going to be probably mentioning that or talking about that in his review of the movie.
Yeah, I think they did a reaction to it on the big thing. I need to go and watch it and see if he makes any kind of comment or joke on that.
Right. Anyway, so box office, y'all. Number 7, we're at Minions: The Rise of Gru. Number 8 is Nope. Number 9 is Where the Crawdads Sing, and number 10 is Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Which, again, has that had an official wide release yet?
I think it has now. Yeah.
So it's at number 10.
It's just not going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't. And here's the thing. It's, again, 824. Sometimes you get a good hit. Sometimes you get a quiet one that kind of sneaks in and slips out unannounced.
Yeah.
So there's that. The other one I should mention, you watched it earlier this week, that opened this week, but is opening at the number 12 spot, is Orphan First Kill. So
okay. Yeah, it did have a very small theatrical release, but it was primarily on
yeah.
Was that Paramount or
Paramount Plus, because it's Paramount Pictures that distributed it. Yeah, it's got 498 theaters open.
Okay. Which is not bad for it to hit number 12 out of that.
It made 1.7 million, so
that's not too bad. I know they're talking about potentially doing a sequel to it, which, all right. Now, where's this sequel going to land? Is this a sequel? Is this like Second Kill, but it's before Orphan, or does this take place after Orphan, which is going to be weird if you've seen the ending of Orphan? So, anyways, don't know about that one.
They should do a sequel where there is more than one orphan, and they'll just call it Orphans, or they'll just call it the foster home.
What was it? After you've watched Aliens, you start making that joke about everything now.
Just throw an S on it. That's how you make a sequel. Just throw an S on it. The Lion Kings.
So that Scream movie that came out earlier this year is referred to as Scream, even though it's Scream 5. So by your logic, this next one should be Screams.
Yeah, but that should have like another like 5 S's on it.
Like for each sequel, it just adds an S to the end.
Shawshank Redemptions.
The Shawshank Redemptions. Why would they make a sequel for that?
La La Lands.
Andy realizes he left something at the Shawshank prison, so he has to break back in.
That's like one of those, like, imagine, if you will, they turned that into like a sci-fi TV.
They
TV
did.
Movie.
It's the 4th season of Stranger Things. They broke back into the prison.
Yeah, it's like but it shows up on like sci-fi TV, like Andy Dufresne, after spending enough time in seclusion in on the island and whatnot.
The Wataneo.
He had to come back. I just didn't want to say it wrong. He had to come back and break back into Shawshank. Why? Because aliens have taken over.
God. He left the record player.
He's the only one with the power to do anything about it. Because they all needed their taxes done or something. I don't know.
That's great.
Something crazy like that. Anyway, there you go. That's your box office. Something about Shawshank Redemptions.
Okay. Well, since there was no actual Barbie news this week, I feel like we don't have to wait around for...
Oh, that's what you think, homie.
When did you put like the negative image on there? Like it was like really creepy, like Ken with the negative.
It's been there.
I don't recall seeing that.
It's because you don't pay attention to anything I do anymore.
Pretty much no.
So in Barbie news this week, let's talk about Ocean's 11. Just go with me. Apparently, our wonderful Barbie co-stars Ryan Gosling as Ken and Margot Robbie as Barbie are going to be doing a prequel to Ocean's 11. What?
So is this going to be like Ocean's 9 or is this like Ocean's 5?
I don't know where the number is at this point because Ocean's 8, which wasn't a prequel, it was just a whole different set of individuals doing the heisting.
Mm-hmm.
Technically comes after 13. So I'm expecting this one to be Ocean's 21 and will involve card counting and hopefully not Kevin Spacey.
That's a good joke right there. That was a good movie though.
It was a good movie. Anyway, this has been your Barbie Watch. We really need some more Barbie news.
I can't wait till the trailer comes out
for the Oceans. Oh, for Barbie.
For Barbie.
I wonder what the news story that week will be.
When that first trailer drops, oh my god.
Our whole entire trailer reactions is going to be a Barbie watch.
Yeah. We're going to have to figure out how to do something creative with that. That would be fun. Malcolm says he thinks it could be a prequel about Danny's parents, and that's Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. That could be interesting. You've got Danny and Debbie.
I could see it. I wouldn't be against that. It runs in the family. Well, we already know it does because old sis has the gene too.
Yeah. So what they need to do is show it like it's Danny and Debbie, and then they have there's another sibling. There's a third one that we never knew about. And it's something like the sibling dies like at the beginning of this movie. And so yeah. And then like come to find out at the end of the movie, it's the sibling that was thought to be dead the whole time was actually alive and was conning everybody. There's your idea.
And the entire family loves Frank Sinatra.
I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, I like someone who's very decisive and knows how to do things their way.
That's life. Anyway.
All right, so let's move on to actual regular movie news. Real quick, this just got announced pretty much today. Couple of movie delays. Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, delayed till March.
Canceled. Oh, sorry. What?
Yeah. Delayed. Not canceled yet. Not canceled.
Right.
But delayed. Aquaman 2.
Canceled.
No. It's also delayed.
Oh, you have to forgive me. These are WB. You got a DC WB. You never know.
Yeah. It has been delayed to December of next year. Which one was it? So was it Shazam or I think it was Shazam that was supposed to be coming out this December. It was supposed to be released the same day as Avatar. Yeah.
Yes. I think that was the case.
Basically, I guess was it Zaslav? Is that how you say his name?
Zatarans, yes.
Zatarans. Oh, I do want some jambalaya. That sounds good.
Zatarans,
yeah. Amber's going to come in here into the chat and like start kicking my ass. Like, that's not real. Stop it. Anyways, so basically in a smart, intelligent move, they're like, let's move this movie away from Avatar 2. All right. That's a good idea. Just saying. So we'll talk about bad ideas here in a little bit when we talk about Movie Pass, but yeah.
You know what's interesting there is that this is where you see a studio doing a numbers game based purely on what the first movie did. They recognize that Avatar is still, once again, and technically, the #1 movie of all time in the box office, having retaken over from Avengers Endgame upon re-releases and whatnot.
Which you'll probably do again here shortly.
Which, it'll double down on again because they didn't release Endgame since the last Avatar re-release. So anyway, what I'm saying is that they're looking at the numbers that the first movie made and they're going, maybe we probably shouldn't put anything out against the sequel. Even if the sequel just completely flops and tanks because it's been such a long time since the first one. Top Gun Maverick effect. 30 years later, you can produce a sequel that's still good. Maybe Avatar can produce a sequel, 13 years later, 12, 13 years later, that's still good?
Same year as the first Orphan movie. So not only does the prequel to Orphan come out, but the sequel to Avatar comes out. Both of them are 13 years later.
Yes. Got it. So yeah, if I were WB, if I were operating strictly on a numbers and how the studio operates thing, and we got to make sure we get as much money upon release as possible, I too probably would not go up against Avatar: The Way of Water, regardless of what the movie may or may not be projected to do. And I'm betting it's probably projected to do pretty well.
In a final one, also a WB property, the long-awaited sequel, Evil Dead Rise, had
canceled.
No, well, sort of. It was supposed to be released to HBO Max, like this fall or so. Still, we haven't had like any trailer or anything. We've gotten like a poster, and that's it. It has been delayed to April, and it is going to be released in theaters. So, yay! I mean, I enjoy this just because other than the 2013 Evil Dead movie, I haven't seen Evil Dead movies in a theater, and I love the Evil Dead movies. So I'm happy to see this in a theater.
I wonder what the move is there, if they just couldn't get the space theatrically for October, because you said it was supposed to be released in October on HBO Max?
It was supposed to be released this fall. They hadn't officially announced like a date yet.
So I would have expected it to be released around the Halloween time, because it fits, and releasing it on HBO Max. So the movie's done. The movie's completed. There's really nothing left to do but marketing at this point.
Yep.
Especially if they were planning on releasing it in the fall. Now they want to release it to April so they can get a theatrical release. So it means they're probably trying to work out how to release it theatrically, which is going to take a little bit more time than they have to release it right now. That's interesting. I don't know. I guess that makes sense because like, if I were them, I would have planned for maybe a day and date or something at that point for both theater and streaming in around Halloween, but who knows? Maybe they were thinking one thing, and now Victor Zatarans.
Zatarans.
I said Victor because Garth said his name is Victor Zaz.
So you're asking who knows about scary movies being released day and date in October? Well, I can answer that. Universal knows. We'll talk about that here in a second too. But yeah, so those are the movies being delayed.
We got to stop doing the teasing. Just go into a news story.
Yeah. Next news story coming from the category of news stories that are cool. Cool. The Community movie is finally happening. Also 13 years later.
6 seasons in a movie. We're finally getting the movie. Did we get 6 seasons of that show? I don't remember.
I can't remember. Here's the thing. Like, both of us, we both started watching Community when it first came out because it had I was a big fan of Joel McHale at the time. Chevy Chase, always a good classic comedic person. And then some of the other actors, most everyone else in that show were fairly unknown at the time. Of course, Donald Glover is like a huge name now, and he'll probably get like top billing for the Community movie.
His name's not bigger than Childish Gambino, though.
Yeah, well. Anyways, they're finally making a movie. I think both of, like I was saying, you and I both started watching it, and then we just kind of fell off watching it. So, might return to it, maybe, depending on how this movie looks, but I don't know. I'm not saying I'm like that eager for a movie. I mean, I'm happy that they're finally going to get the movie because they've all been hoping for it, but also wondering if Chevy Chase is going to be a part of the movie.
Probably not. I'm curious. I'm curious to see what the whole thing looks like. Of course, I don't know how the show ended. I don't know where the storyline went. So I have no idea. I wouldn't be able to place what they would possibly do with a movie about a community college, but
especially since it's been like 10 years or so. So are they all still in community college? Like, was this me when I was in community college and I'm still there? Like, I think I was in community college for like 5 or 6 years or so. I can't remember.
Same.
Yeah. So anyways, are there loans being forgiven? Who knows? We'll find out when this movie comes out.
Now that's the real question.
Yeah. Are they getting kickbacks and whatever stimulus for the movie budget?
Supplemental income.
Yes. Something like that. Anyways, other like weird movie. This is like a nice little assortment of like, why are these movies being made? Why are they coming out? Ferris Bueller's Day Off is getting a spinoff. We're now going to follow the two dudes that took the red Ferrari on a joyride while Ferris Bueller and his friends were out enjoying Chicago that day. We're going to find out what the other two guys were doing in the car.
Are they being played by the same actors? Because that movie was in the 80s.
Probably not. That will look a little weird. The downside to that, though, is what's his name? The guy, so it was
hey, relax.
Yeah, him. He's a character actor. He's been in a bunch of things. He was like one of the henchmen in the Super Mario Brothers movies.
Yeah.
The Super Mario Brother movie in 93 or whatever. I like him. He like every time I see him, he always plays like an off the wall character like that. Relax. You guys don't have anything to worry about. I'm a professional. It's like, professional what? I would have loved to. This would have been a good idea had they done it like maybe a year or two after Ferris Bueller came out, so they could still use the same actors. But I don't think they're going to be able to do that. Plus, I'm not 100% certain if they're both still alive.
That was also before they hopped on the train of the train of IP, recognizable IP, and we've got to capitalize on it right now, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
which they're now trying to do with where the movie has been at since the 80s, and I don't know. I don't know.
Richard Edson is soon. And then there was his, so there was Richard Edson was the white dude who was saying that he was professional. His friend was Larry Flash Jenkins. He has passed away. I could have sworn I had heard about that, but so what they could do though is like do a bookend of the movie with Richard Edson's character, like telling his like grandkids or whatever about this time that he took a day off from his garage parking attendant job, and just the whole movie is him telling the story to the kids and like, it's okay, I'm a professional joyrider.
I just outside of like, are we saying that our de-aging technology is now so good that we can de-age him for an entire movie? Because we saw what he looked like in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and now you're telling me we're going to do an entire movie that takes place pretty much in the middle of that movie, and he's going to go from looking one way in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and the two characters are going to look completely different during this entire movie, and then go back to looking that way. This idea stinks. Yeah, it's not great.
No,
it can be funny. It could be funny if it wasn't attached to Ferris Bueller, if it was like a whole different idea.
Or, well, like I said, or if it came out like a year or two after Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
This idea is not great.
No.
It's not great.
Moving on. This one is actually I kind of both hate and like this news story. Warner Brothers Discovery
Canceled.
has canceled something yet. No.
Sorry.
So Matt
Reflex.
Reeves has started work on writing the script or story for the Batman 2. And he has been given like full creative power by WB Discovery. So he can make whatever he wants. And yeah, so that's what I'm leery about. I was like, wait. We are talking about Warner Brothers still, right? They still have a hand in this, right?
Not something they've been known to do before.
Unless your name is Christopher Nolan, then they're not letting you do whatever you want to do.
And even then, on Dark Knight Rises, you're still kind of pressed.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, yeah. Especially when it came to what was it, Tenet, and they were arguing with Nolan about releasing it in the theater.
You're talking about now, yeah. Warner Brothers and Nolan are no longer buddies.
So yeah, they're giving Matt Reeves like full creative power until they take it away inevitably, because they're Warner Brothers and that's what they do. So
and they cancel this movie.
They're also better known as Sony, even though I'm pretty sure they're two separate studios.
So they're giving him full creative power until Matt Reeves turns around and goes, "Okay, I'd like to cast Leslie Grace in this movie as Batgirl."
They're like, "No."
They'll be like, "Tried it."
Yeah. Anyways, I'm curious again. As I stated last week, when the whole thing with like the Batgirl came out, and I was like, just cancel everything. My whole like scorched earth, as you're calling it, cancel everything. Cancel the Robert Pattinson Batman movies. Just get rid of it all. Start all over with one singular DC cinematic universe from the ground up. Therefore, I'm not a huge fan of the fact that we're continuing on with the Batman 2. Also, just really wasn't a huge fan of the Batman. Like, it's a good movie, but I'm kind of Batmaned out now. If it's not a part of a cinematic universe, I don't care. Like, it.
And I think that's a fair take for some people. I think others are curious what direction can they go in with the sequel and with inevitably a third one. Because,
Joker, that's where they're going with it. They're going to go with Joker.
It's going to be a trilogy. Yeah, and that's the thing. I think most people at this point are kind of burnt out on the Batman and Joker thing for these movies. And yeah, I would agree. I also am kind of burnt out on Batman just having a solo movie series on his own. I think we got that. We got enough of that through the 90s. And then, of course, we reached a peak with the Dark Knight trilogy. I think post Dark Knight trilogy, what you need to do with Batman is start letting him play with some other superheroes. Put him in a fantastical world and let him play with the Supermans and the Wonder Womans and the Green Lanterns.
And let him build up his own like little cinematic universe that's still a part of the DC. I want to see a true faithful adaptation of him growing the Bat family. Start with someone young. Start with a younger Batman. Kind of like somewhere in between like Robert Pattinson and the kid who was playing Bruce Wayne in the Gotham TV show.
Yeah.
Let's start with a younger Batman. Do another year one story, sure. But let that be the one that gets to play in the cinematic universe. And because we're starting off younger, we get to have them like sign multi-movie deals so we can see movies adding Robin, Batgirl, Huntress, Damian Wayne.
I'm not on board with another year one story. I think we need a Batman who's already been established for a little bit.
I'm only on board with it if it's something that will lead to what I want to see. I want to see the Bat family grow. I want to eventually get it to the point where we do come back and revisit the Dark Knight Returns storyline later. Yeah. Like that'll be towards the end of this Batman story. That's what I want to see.
I think you get a good middle of the road thing here where we're definitely not going as old as Ben Affleck's Batman is supposed to be, but we're not going as young as Robert Pattinson's Batman is supposed to be. Let him be established year year 7 or something. Let him have been around and been doing this for long enough to know how to be Batman, to have his thing down. And then you introduce a Robin. We're having an established Batman who's getting a Robin introduced to him. And that Robin is upsetting the order of Batman's life, essentially.
Yeah, but I want to, like, the reason I did want to start off young is because I want to see Robin grow as well. Obviously, let's start with Dick Grayson. We'll have a couple of movies with him as Robin. He decides to just up and leave because he can't stand how Bruce Wayne controls things.
Yeah.
He disappears for a movie. He comes back later. Boom, Nightwing.
He wants to go off on this. This might be a podcast episode or something.
Yeah. Speaking of which, if y'all don't know, eventually we will be starting the Cinefanatics podcast everywhere you can get your podcasts. Always be plugging. The Cinefanatics podcast is coming soon.
Nope, that was not a call to plug right there. We don't need to plug that one again until we get closer to it being ready. So,
but it was expertly done, and you're welcome.
Anyway, so Matt Reeves writing Batman 2. Here's the thing. Yeah, they're gonna make a trilogy out of this, unless the Garth, stop saying podcast. It's not a J. It's clearly a D. Anyway, this is going to be a trilogy unless for some reason the second one just completely bombs, and then it's going to be like an Amazing Spider-Man type deal where after the successful Dark Knight trilogy / Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, we get a twofer that didn't quite take off as well, and then we'll get the Batman in the proper cinematic universe that we all want.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Which will then bring back Michael Keaton and Christian Bale and
yes,
George
and Batman No Way Home.
Batman No Way Home. That'll be great. Anyways, see, here's the thing. All those fantastic ideas. I am game for like almost all those. What's a bad idea? Bringing back Movie Pass. We've talked about this before, and Movie Pass made an announcement saying that they are opening like waitlisted slots at like was it like a $10, $20, and $30 tier, something like that. That you can sign up now by going to Movie Pass's website, which I'm not going to plug them because I'm pretty sure you can figure out what their website is. But anyways, go to their website, sign up by, I believe it's by Labor Day. So by September 5th. And you'll be, if selected on that wait list, you'll be a part of the beta test for this relaunch of Movie Pass. There are no actual details that I have been able to find, unless if someone else has found it, let me know. I spent all of like maybe 2 minutes looking. But I haven't found like any details of what exactly the $10, $20, $30 tiers grant you. Movie Pass WTF.
That's the website.
Literally. Even though that is apparently a website address now.
Yep.
.wtf. But yeah, nothing explaining exactly what's going on. I'm like, yeah, that's not good. When Movie Pass, I know the person who's running Movie Pass was the person who originally invented it, sold it off to Helios and Matheson, and then Helios and Matheson kicked this person out. Then they went out of business. So this person basically bought the rights to Movie Pass back and is relaunching it.
I still don't see how this can be a successful business.
Well, you don't see it because we haven't gotten any details of exactly what the hell's going on with it.
True.
They just said, we're going to relaunch it. Well, cool. How's it going to work this time? And how is it going to be successful now compared to how unsuccessful it was under Helios and Matheson? So I don't have no faith in it.
Here's the thing. If you break it down and you think about it, let's bring up was it AMC's A-List. Let's bring that up as an example here. A-List is successful. A-List works. The reason why A-List works is because it's a theater doing its own rewards program, essentially. We'll call it a rewards program, more or less. It's a theater deciding that they're going to take a cut on their own profits of movies in order to get people into a theater seat more often with the A-List program. That way, when they bring in people more often on the A-List program, they're hitting up a concession stand more often. They're buying snacks and stuff to go see these movies with. Does AMC offer alcohol now? I don't know. Maybe in some locations. I guess it does. So you're getting alcohol sales more often because you're getting people into a theater seat more often. So they're taking a little bit of a cut on the box office revenue for movies that come out, but they're making it back. They're making it back in terms of concession sales. It makes sense.
Margins.
It makes absolute sense for a theater chain to open up their own program like that and work it from a business side. Smart.
Mm-hmm.
What does MoviePass gain? MoviePass does not have another revenue stream as far as we know. Who knows? They haven't announced anything yet. They don't have another revenue stream to be pulling in income from when it comes time to get people into seats, which is why, in the past, we heard them talking about trying to make deals with theaters to get a cut of their concessions so that they can try to pull.
No.
And the theater's like, no. That's why they were trying to make those deals, though, is because they were trying to get that revenue stream in from somewhere while also trying to get people with butts in the seats. They're not pulling anything on the back end to cover the cost that is the loss that they're running by paying for people's tickets essentially multiple times a month. So I don't see it. I'm curious as to what they can possibly announce to cover that.
There is, if you remember, and we talked about this before, they are doing a thing where you earn credits towards watching movies by watching like advertisements. And they had that thing like on your phone, like they're using the front facing camera to see that you are watching the ads that they're playing on your phone. So they are watching you watch them type of thing. So there's one source of revenue in their favors that they're forcibly showing you ads that you can't skip, that you have to watch. And then therefore you get credits based off of that. So they're getting paid by the advertisers. And then a portion of that money is what's going towards purchasing the movie tickets. Sure. But I mean, I feel like that's something that's already in existence. There are places online that you can go and watch ads. You can go and take surveys and you get paid for those ads and those surveys. You get paid a tiny amount because, of course, the ones hosting those ads and those surveys are the ones who are going to take the most amount of money. But if you do enough of them, you could potentially make a little bit of change on there. So
just got to have to dedicate a lot of time in order to, make it pay off for yourself.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. I just don't see this being successful. This is going to be another thing where they run it for like a couple months and people, run in and take kind of advantage of the situation. And then they end up crashing and burning because they haven't made a profit because people aren't doing what they want. And
by the way, real quick, shout out to the What the Show crew. Over the past 3 weeks, at least myself have been on some form of the What the Show. We did the Scrubs trivia last week, which I am so proud of. But yeah. So apparently they were streaming us on their show, which it's like the stream Inception. What the tagline. Anyways, those are some good people over there, so make sure you check them out as well. But yeah, that's pretty funny.
Hi, if you're watching our stream currently on What the Show, come over here and subscribe to our channel. Click on our live stream and give us the view real quick. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, we're not streaming on there anymore. They did their Mortal Kombat intro.
Well, God damn it.
Oh man. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, we don't know what to think with MoviePass. Just whatever. I feel like it's gonna fail again. It just does not sound. Trying to get people to sign up without actually saying what you're doing when your previous iteration was a failure. No, that's terrible business decision.
Yeah.
So
we'll be watching MoviePass's career with moderate to
no interest.
We'll probably be reporting back. I will say, not to plug other people's content, but I have to. Dan Merle's probably going to be the one to watch as this unfolds more and more because he has a lot of thoughts on MoviePass. So he'll be one to watch. We'll probably definitely, anytime there's news, we'll probably bring it back and talk about it.
Doesn't he have his like MoviePass like credit card, whatever, like framed like in the background? I think I cut mine up and I was like, after I saw that he had his framed, I was like, shit, that's a great idea.
I might have mine still somewhere. I don't really remember if I put it somewhere or not.
Anyways, I would love to. That's funny. Let's move on to the main topic here.
Wait, can we do like a movie pass watch every week where I play the same exact Barbie watch song but at a lower key and just
Like it's just sad and
sad and depressing sound.
yeah. What's that shot of what's his face like in the rain holding the or no, there's the David Tennant in the rain with the sad face.
Sad Keanu Reeves, all the sad memes.
Yeah,
Jeremy Renner from Endgame. Don't give me hope.
But if we could edit it together, kind of like the Marvel logo, so it's like cutting through like comic book pages of all these people sad while the movie pass logo slowly comes. That's funny.
Might do this actually.
Once you're done editing your wedding video thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
So moving on to the main topic, let's talk about some of the movies that are coming out this fall. On the document that me and my brother share here, I've got like a couple of them listed already. So we can go through some of these, and then those of y'all watching live in the chat or watching over on What the Show, if y'all want to put in the chat like what movies are you looking forward to or not looking forward to, especially if you got a movie you're looking forward to that we're not mentioning here, let us know in the chat, because there might be there's a couple of them I believe I saw that I just forgot to jot down. But yeah, I'm kind of interested in some of these. I think the first and foremost one, so we're looking at movies that are coming out in the fall, basically. So starting in September through November.
Into December. Typically fall runs till like December 20th or something like that.
Okay. I only looked like through the end of November, so we'll talk about December movies as we get closer. So the first and foremost, right off the bat, is Clerks 3, which we've already got our tickets to a showing for Clerks 3. So I am super eager for that.
Which, did you see there is Kevin Smith is coming here for a Clerks 3 for a tour in November.
Might go see it again.
So that is something to be aware of. I saw that late last night as I was like falling asleep. I was like, oh, remind me to mention that to my brother later.
Did you see where they're playing it at?
I can't remember. Again, It was like really late.
Is it going to be another Movies pop-up restaurant?
No, I think it's actually going to be like probably at like the Paramount or something like that kind of a situation.
That could be fun. Anyway, I wonder if Rachel Silverstein is going to go on like a tour and like she's just going to go everywhere that's showing it.
Maybe
that'd be fun. Anyways, so yeah, Clerks 3 is super looking forward to it. Y'all know I'm a huge like Kevin Smith fan, so yeah, I'm eager for that.
Me?
Yeah.
I got nothing.
No ticket. Good joke. Anyways, that's one I'm looking forward to. Is there a movie you're looking forward to?
There is. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Don't Worry, Darling. I'll mention that.
Yeah. Speaking of Olivia Wilde,
obviously we're not going, I think, in order of like release dates here.
No,
I don't think we even have this on the list and release date. No, Don't Worry, Darling looks fascinating. You got Olivia Wilde, you got Florence Pugh, Harry Styles, you got Chris Pine,
Gemma Chan.
Like, what is it? First of all, what is this cast? Second of all, there's a lot. I like a movie with a good mystery to it, where there's something going on and I'm not quite sure what it is.
Like Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
The marketing on this, we've gotten 2 trailers and both of them are very Jordan Peele-esque.
Yeah. I'm actually really kind of looking forward to this. It looks just intriguing enough to be like, I don't know what's happening right now. I don't know what's going on. I just remember there's another one that we don't have on this list. I'll add it here in a second. Garth brings up one in his comment in the chat there, The Menu. That's another one that feels kind of similar to Don't Worry, Darling. I don't know if you saw the trailer for this, but it's Ray Fiennes is in it. It also looks kind of intriguing, but it looks a little more, I don't know. It looks a little bit more on the horror side. I don't. Maybe more thriller. It looks even more thriller than Don't Worry, Darling.
Is that the one that stars Asian acting superstar Emma Stone?
I don't think so.
Okay, I know there's a movie with her in it coming out that involves something cooking wise, and I think it also comes out this fall. And I haven't watched the trailer yet or anything. So
Right. Anyway, this Don't Worry, Darling looks fascinating. The menu is loosely based on The Most Dangerous Game. That actually makes sense. Based on the trailer, that actually makes 100% sense. I remember reading The Most Dangerous Game in school. So that's actually, I think, what makes it even more interesting.
Okay. So I need to watch the trailer for that, and then whatever this Emma Stone cooking movie is.
Yeah.
So I'm also gonna touch upon like some of the horror ones, because I know you have no interest in any of the movies that are on this list that are horror.
There's definitely a few on this list I have nothing. I know nothing about.
Yeah. So actually, if you want, I'll just knock those out real quick. Pearl coming out is a prequel to that movie that came out earlier this year, X. It looks interesting. They showed us like a trailer. Would you stop it? They showed us a trailer at the end of X, and I was like, okay, this is kind of intriguing. I'm curious as to what they're going to do with that character. I think Ty West, who directed X, did enough with that movie to get me to want to find out what's going on with this character. If you don't know who Pearl is, you don't know what this, you need to watch X. It's very like Texas Chainsaw Massacre-ish. Like, so a group of people traveling, they stay at like this old farm in the middle of like nowhere, Texas, I think. And then they start getting killed.
Quick question. Was this based on anything, X and all that? Was it based on anything before?
No, it's just the same idea as like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It's a new IP, essentially.
Yeah, with the same retelling of a story. The only difference between it and Texas Chainsaw Massacre is they're out there filming a porn.
So these two movies are, I'm essentially guessing, filmed back to back.
Yes, they were.
As a new IP. That's really interesting. That's a really interesting idea to be able to film two movies back to back that are part of the same series.
Yeah.
Like that. That's a new IP. That doesn't usually ever happen.
No. So what's really interesting in this, not really a spoiler for X. I mean, if you watch it, you kind of understand that the old couple that lives at the house that the filmmakers are staying at, they're the ones killing all the kids. So it's a couple. The older woman of the couple is Pearl, who is played by Mia Goth, who Mia Goth is also playing a younger character that's a part of the group of friends filming the porn. Now, Pearl is going to be a prequel about her character of Pearl when she was younger, still played by Mia Goth. So there's some really good, this looks really interesting. Yeah.
And Isabel Furman is coming in.
Yeah. It's going to be Esther.
But she's going to be Esther at 75, but also at 36.
Playing a 5-year-old who's supposed to be 95 while being 74. Yeah, I don't know.
And is also a cat.
Just
release the butthole cut.
Yeah. Anyways, so Pearl's one that's coming out. Simultaneous drinking again. Yes. We need like a counter of that, like whenever that happens. Like only something more related to us drinking, or like, like maybe Vision or something. I don't know. Just needed a reason to click on those. Other horror movies coming out. Halloween Ends has been announced. It's being released day and date in the theater and on Peacock on October 14th. That's super weird. They did that with Halloween Kills. But we're a lot further away from the pandemic, I believe, at this point, that I don't see the need for doing a day and date. And I don't know how that actually affects anyone in the movie industry.
Further away from the pandemic, depending on who you're talking about. Yeah, so that's the question. The real question is does evil die tonight?
God, whatever. I was not a fan of Halloween Kills. There's a couple of parts of it that were fantastic that I really liked, but I'm not looking forward to Halloween Ends. I'm going to watch it because I have to, but I'm not looking forward to it. And I'm hoping they do something better with this.
Oh, that's why it's day and date streaming, because Evil might not die tonight, but you can decide on your own what night Evil's going to die on when you watch it at home.
Precisely.
I just gave them good marketing and they're never going to see this.
Nope. Anyways, let me see. What other horror movies do I have on here real quick? Two more. Hulu has a remake of Hellraiser that's coming out. They just dropped a teaser for that. I'm interested in this. I'm a fan of the original Hellraiser, or at least the first two Hellraiser movies. But I don't know. I'm a little bit leery because the rest of the Hellraiser movies have all been like, eh. And they're not releasing this in theaters. So I don't know. But I am looking forward to that. That's going to be released at the very beginning of October on Hulu. So kind of curious. I want to see like a full trailer, which I'm surprised we haven't gotten that yet. We just got this teaser. So I would expect a full trailer probably in a couple of weeks at most. The last one on here, as far as scary movies go, is called Barbarian. This one, so far, all the marketing has said, like, this is going to be the Malignant of this year. From what I've read about it, it is about a woman who books essentially like a Airbnb. And when she gets there, come to find out that particular Airbnb was double booked. And the other person who booked with it is some kind of like creepy dude. And she decides to stay there anyways.
That's a bad idea.
I'm like, I can tell you from the plot, this sounds really dumb. But apparently, it's getting, like, some of the marketing has been pushing for it. I guess there's a couple of people who've already seen it, and they're saying that it's going to be pretty good. Just the premise doesn't grab me right off the bat, so I'm waiting for more word of mouth on that before I'm like, okay, I can take this seriously.
She shouldn't have stayed there. It's her fault. We're victim blaming now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's horror movies in general. When they should be running out the door instead of running upstairs. I think they quoted that in Scream. So, yeah.
People not live in a reality where horror movies exist and they should know better.
Yeah. So they need to watch, was it The Rise of Leslie Vernon? Under the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, because they play into those tropes a whole lot in that movie. Anyways, that's it for the horror movies. What other movie are you looking forward to?
There's a couple of good comic book movies here. I don't know if you want to talk about either one of them, but I'll say one of my big ones that I think we're both looking forward to is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not
especially after that majorly awesome trailer. That trailer was one of the best trailers Marvel has ever put out, and you know, you got those people online who are being detractors who are like, oh, you should have recasted T'Challa. This movie's going to fail because you didn't recast. No, it's not going to fail. It's not going to fail. This movie's going to be amazing. It's going to do some numbers, as the kids are saying. It might even, I'm saying it right now, it's going to be the highest grossing Marvel movie this year. It's going to pass Thor: Love and Thunder. It's going to pass Doctor Strange Mom. It's going to pass both of those. It's going to be the highest grossing Marvel movie this year, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Especially because not only is it bringing back Black Panther, which, you know, look at the box office that movie did. It's coming back in with being the end of Phase 4. It's the final movie of Phase 4. And if anybody who is like in deep in the Marvel MCU lore knows, that means this movie is going to be post-credit tagged with something huge. I'm not going to say what it is right now, but there's rumors on the internet as to somebody who will show up in this movie who's going to play a huge presence in the future, probably the next two phases of the MCU. So we shall see. Tori says, when does it come out? So Wakanda Forever, I believe, comes out November 11th. So,
yeah, super looking forward to that one. Here's the thing, just realistically, and I know this is going to completely come down to just how good is the movie in general. chances of it being taking the position of #1 movie for the year, which means it has to dethrone Maverick.
Depends on what they do with it. For me right now, it's very hard for me to see any of these movies that are coming out the rest of the year topping how I feel about Top Gun Maverick for me personally.
Yeah.
But that's, again, I never pictured that Top Gun Maverick would be that #1 spot for me for the bulk of this year. So anything can happen. Black Panther Wakanda Forever could. It very well could.
I think almost everything, like especially this list here that we're looking off of, I think that Black Panther Wakanda Forever has the best chance of it. I know you just put this other one on here, and sure, it probably would if it came out earlier in the year. But since it's not, I don't think it's going to count since it comes out in December. But yeah. So I think it may have a shot just as long as it's a really good movie, which I'm hoping it is, and I believe it is because the trailer, again, phenomenal. The other comic book movie that's on here is Black Adam. Black Adam. Again, it just looks so meh.
It looks fine. It looks all right. It looks fun. It just looks like generic fun.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily looking forward to it just because if it didn't come out, I would be okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Cancel it all, right?
Let me see some of these other ones.
I don't know anything about this Till.
So Till you're familiar with Emmett Till? You remember hearing about this during the pretty much, I believe, at the beginning of the civil rights movement. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing, and I'm going to be completely blunt and honest. I didn't know anything about Emmett Till until the trailer for this movie. And I saw this, I was like, what happened with this? And then I kind of read up on it. So for those of y'all who may not know, is the extremely brief, maybe missing some parts.
Paraphrased and condensed.
Yeah, super, super condensed here. Emmett Till was a black kid that was, I believe he was coming down to, I think it was like Alabama. Again, this is like in the 50s, 60s, I believe, something like that. I believe he was visiting family or friends. He was out with some friends one day, stopped off at a little convenience store that was owned by a white family. And allegedly he harassed the teenage girl who worked there enough that she told like her brothers and stuff. Her brothers, her family went and found Emmett Till, killed him by lynching. And there was this whole thing about Emmett Till's mom she was pissed, and she has every right to be pissed. But yeah, the movie is going to be primarily more on like what the mom did in the aftermath of Emmett Till's death. And I can't remember who's playing the mom.
Interesting.
Yeah, it looks really good. It looks like they're doing this movie proper justice. It does look like it's definitely being released like in awards contention. But I mean, I think it's one of those, like, we're not sitting here trying to win awards and make a movie that's going to win awards. I just think it's going to.
Yeah, for sure.
I do not recognize the actress playing the mom, Danielle Deadweiler.
Okay.
Yeah, she was in The Harder They Fall. I don't remember which part, but yeah. So she's someone who's like starting her career as well. So this could hopefully be really good for her. Hopefully, it is a good movie, but it looks super interesting. So I'm eager to see that, just to see how good that actually is going to be.
And then I'll let you talk about Dish One and Dish One, and I'll talk about the two that I put on here.
Okay, I don't know anything about Strange World other than what we've seen in the trailer, which looks like a fun animated, crazy romp. Looks like they're all going to be in that Mushroom Kingdom place that
Sonic?
Robotnik got sent to in Sonic. That's all I know about it. It looks like it could be fun, but I don't know.
So this is another one of those Disney animated movies where it feels like it's supposed to be a Pixar movie, but it's not. Like I believe Encanto and just like the newer Disney anime movies, Moana, Frozen, all that kind of stuff. This one looks fascinating. They're doing, like, we know nothing other than what we saw in the trailer, but I believe it's based off of something else. What was that?
Like a book.
I don't know if it's like a Journey to the Center of the Earth type situation or what it is, but the design of this movie looks kind of like the type of movie that you would want to go see, having taken some supplements. You know what I mean?
Not
You know what I'm
being
saying?
in a normal, sober frame of mind. This looks like the movie that should be scored by Pink Floyd.
I honestly wouldn't doubt if there's a Pink Floyd song in this movie. Oddly enough, despite the fact that this is definitely like more geared towards kids, I think they might still find a way to stick one in there anyway. But it looks fascinating as far as like animation goes. Like, don't let them tell you that animation's only for kids. There's been some fantastic animated movies the last few years that have touched the hearts of us as adults as well. Especially like when it comes from the House of Mouse, both them and Pixar know what they're doing with their animated movies. Disney's kind of always been king of animation anyway. So
Well, I'd say, like, even looking back, as an adult, I am a huge fan of Mitchell's versus the Machines. That movie was phenomenal.
Which that one wasn't Disney, but that
like
was
Sony.
Yeah, that one was still like Sony's been doing really good with animation too. When you talk about that and Into the Spider-Verse,
Yeah.
they kind of know what they're doing over there too.
Mm-hmm. The other one I wanted to talk about is that movie Blonde, about Marilyn Monroe, played by Ana de Armas. I'm a fan of Marilyn Monroe's work. I haven't seen too many of her movies. I think the only movie I've actually seen with her in it, I believe, was Some Like It Hot, which was phenomenal. I love that movie. That movie was so funny. I do need to see like more of her movies, but I did like her story. I was a fan of the HBO movie, Norma Jean and Marilyn, that had Ashley Judd as Norman Jean and Mira Sorvino was Marilyn Monroe. So they actually got a completely different actress when she decided to become Marilyn Monroe.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, I thought that movie was done pretty well. I like how Ana de Armas looks in this. She's got a really good like Marilyn Monroe look for this. Also, what's interesting is this is, I believe, someone correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this is the first like NC-17 movie that's being released on Netflix. This is actually probably the first NC-17 movie I've heard of being released in my lifetime. Because I'm not aware of like any. Oh, no. There was what's that movie? The Bad Lieutenant. The original Bad Lieutenant with was it Harvey Keitel was like 17. That was back like in the early 90s or something like that.
So Jerry brings up could get Oscar nomination despite people complaining about her accent. Sure. What I'm curious of is, does the movie get any Oscar nominations despite the NC-17 rating, or does the Academy stay away from it because of that rating? Is there politics at play in there that might affect that movie's eligibility? I don't say like actual eligibility. The movie might actually be eligible, but it might be a situation where there's like an unwritten thing, an unspoken thing amongst the voters that are like, we're not gonna nominate that movie. I wonder if that's actually going to play against it or not. But I would say, yeah, it looks like definitely an Oscar nom for Ana de Armas if that's the case, at least.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, interested in that. Let's talk about the other ones that you put on here.
So I want to say these are the last two. Yeah, last two that I wanted to mention. Again, these are like the movies that we're kind of got our eye right now that we're looking at. We'll talk about
one that doesn't necessarily have a nailed down release date. It's still projected to come out this year. Going to be both have a limited, I think, theatrical run, and will be mostly wide released on Netflix as well. And that is Glass Onion, which I believe is getting a festival circuit treatment right now.
Like a TIFF. I think it's going to TIFF.
So it'll be seen, I think, next month on the festival circuit. So so that'll be interesting to hear like news back on that. First of all, the cast, fantastic. That's a fantastic looking cast. Jessica Henwick. It's a fantastic looking cast, and I'm deeply interested in everyone who's on that cast, specifically one person. And I think it's going to be just great. And I'm looking forward to hearing Daniel Craig's accent again, Jessica Henwick. And the movie itself just looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. We obviously only have gotten like the little teaser of the logo. We haven't gotten a whole trailer for it yet. So I don't predict this movie is coming out until deeper into December, but still slated for like a fall, maybe early winter release at this point. So I, for one, am looking forward to it. The first Knives Out, it's a great movie, excellent movie. This one I hope is really great too. And then I hope also we get a whole trilogy out of it with a third one with a whole new cast. I think that's probably the direction they're going to aim for these, is just a whole nother brand new cast for the third one again. So aside from Daniel Craig, maybe they do the Muppet one in the third one. Who knows?
The Muppet one. That'd be great.
Muppet Knives Onion. I don't know what they would call it, but and then of course the last movie on the list, one that I out of the two of us am looking forward to a little bit more than the other. Mostly because every time I see the trailer, I'm just kind of hold on. I gotta do the way of water here. Get it? Because we're talking about Avatar: The Way of Water. That the throat locking up there just happened at the right time. Anyways, yeah, I am actually looking forward to this movie. The song in the trailer, which I believe is just an Avatar theme, the environments that we've already seen in the trailer, there's just a good feeling from it for me. I just like it feels like a getaway resort type situation. So I am very, very interested and intrigued by this movie. I'm curious, obviously, to see how well it does this many years after the first one was released. I'm interested in seeing what storyline they go with, because we all know the first one's a lot derivative of many movies that came before it.
Ferngully, Dances with Wolves, Pocahontas,
all of those. I'm very curious to see, are they taking from like other stories that have already existed in some way for this one, or was that kind of like our introduction into this world by playing off of some tropes that we already are aware of, but now they're going to spin off and just do their own thing? I don't know. I think it looks really good from what we've seen so far, and
I agree with.
That's the biggest reason right there, is if for nothing else, James Cameron knows that he can get butts in seats because these movies are movies that are meant to be seen on a big screen.
That's why I saw the original Avatar.
It's why I'm saying that we probably should go see the original Avatar in the theater again.
I will. I don't want to, but I will.
I'm interested in seeing it in 3D. It's also not available on Disney Plus right now because they're re-releasing it, but I'm interested in seeing it in 3D again if they are doing so, if they're releasing it again.
Yeah.
We'll see how that affects, my sense of balance in my head and everything. I think I'll probably be fine, but yeah, that'll be interesting to see that again, and then go from that into Avatar 2. So, The Way of Water.
Anyways, Garth was asking, I've heard of Amsterdam. I haven't heard of the other two movies, and I forgot who's doing Amsterdam, but I remember like having like some interest in Amsterdam, but we just haven't gotten like a trailer yet or something.
Yeah. These are just the movies we mentioned are just the initial ones that we've seen so far that we
we have kind of an interest in. Anything else isn't that we're not interested in. It's just that we haven't seen enough of it yet.
Yeah. The only other one that I just now remember, you were talking about the circuit of premieres, the film festival circuits, is Terrifier 2 is hitting.
Pass.
Yeah, strong pass for you. But that's hitting up Fantastic Fest, which is here in Austin, Texas. I probably won't go to it because I hadn't been prepared and I don't know when, and I probably don't have time or money to do it. But I am looking forward to Terrifier 2. I like the first one. If you like a good, like gritty, cheaply made but very well looking horror movie, and that's super gory, Terrifier is fantastic. I am looking forward to Terrifier 2. Yeah. Definitely not one. I wonder if Chris Adams can watch it. No, he's not going to watch it. No, not at all.
Oh, he can watch it. He's not going to
he's
watch
not
it.
Going to.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that's it for the movies I could think of. I saw like other people, like I didn't see anyone like mentioning other movies in the comments chat here as we were going.
Nerd said See How They Run is one he's looking forward to.
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Is that about like 3 blind mice or something?
See How They Run. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, might have to look those up. So,
yep.
Yeah, I think that's going to do it for all the news tonight. So, quick recap here as we are ending. So after this, I believe we will be over. I'll be over on a Fan's View of Film Favorites doing Deathly Hallows Part 1, I believe. So go check that out. Also, let me see.
Also.
Just as I send that, Vernon is sending me the link to the StreamYard to join that. So good timing, Vernon. So I will be over there doing Deathly Hallows Part 1. If y'all haven't caught up since we did Goblet of Fire last Friday, quickly go watch Half-Blood Prince and Order of the Phoenix before we start watching Deathly Hallows here in about an hour. So you got 1 hour to cram in 2.5 hour long movies. I know you can do it. Just watch it at like time 20 speed or something like that, if that's how the math works out.
Simultaneously at the same time. Yeah, watch them both like 2 times speed.
Yeah, hope you don't have ADD or ADHD because you're fucked. Anyways, moving on. The next one is, again, this Friday we will be doing the Marquee. That is going to be this Friday at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. We will be ranking 80s summer blockbusters with our special guest, returning cinefanatic Tori Rose. So very happy to have her back doing stuff on this channel. We're going to have some hot takes on this, I believe, because this is a stacked list of movies. Like super stacked. Yeah, there's like 1 or 2 that like, I didn't know that was a summer blockbuster back in the 80s. Well, it's easy to figure out because, like, say, for my brother, he wasn't alive at that time.
This is mostly a list of movies that in any other tier list would probably all rank S or A for the most part. So like we had with the Marvel situation where we actually like every single movie that Marvel's produced, we're going to have to put movies we don't like into tiers that make it seem like we don't like them.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun one. People are going to
get a lot of crap on Twitter the next day.
People are going to cry. Hey, look, if at this point, I'm going to say at this point, if you don't know how the show works, you need to be coming and watching the show instead of crapping on the opinions in the after fact. You need to know how it works because we're going to be putting multiple movies at every single tier, and you got to put some at the lower tiers. So,
yeah. So it'll be interesting to see where those go. Anyways, I believe that's all we've got coming up. Yep. So make sure you follow us at Cinefanatics MLP on Twitter and Instagram. For this particular video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't been subscribing to us. I know we are closing in on 2,000 subscribers, so eager to get to that number. So yeah, make sure you do all the YouTube things. You can follow me personally at Robert Adams MLP, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Chris, what about you? Where can they find you at?
You can find me at Chris Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, as well as twitch.tv/Chris Adams MLP, where we are playing games and having a ton of fun. this Sunday is the next time I will be streaming over there, and we'll be doing family game night as per usual. You're gonna want to be a part of that. Come hang out. So,
yep. Anyways, so that is going to do it. Garth says, saw E.T. when there were lines around the block. Yeah. God, I haven't seen a movie do that, especially like nowadays. Most of the movies you can just like order online seats and stuff, so you don't see people around the block anymore.
nope.
Wow, what a time. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show tonight. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for liking, commenting, subscribing. As usual, we will see y'all on Friday for the marquee. Until then, good night, everybody. That was weird. Why are you so awkward?